All right. So, hello and welcome to the newest edition of our weekly Cyber Corner chat. I don't think many people know this, but it is Data Privacy Week. So, today we're talking about the importance of keeping your data safe and protecting your privacy. My name is Melanie Padron, aka your go-to cybersecurity girl. As always, I'm joined by Marcus Trachier, our cybersecurity officer, and 100% the coolest cybersecurity super sleuth I know.
Oh, how sweet.
IT Architects is a managed service provider with a security-first mindset, which is just one of the things that makes us a little different than the other IT shops out there. We are cybersecurity evangelists, and I always say that with a wink because our job is to tell the ugly truth about what's happening in the cyber world, and it's just not usually a real pretty picture. But we are on a mission to protect businesses in this great country of ours, and much of doing that comes through educating and increasing awareness because when you know better, you do better. Marcus, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Just fighting through these rainy days a little bit here in Texas.
But I know. So ready for the sunshine again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so today we are going to talk about 5 actionable steps that individuals and businesses can take to protect the privacy of their data. And this is important because data is our digital identity, and identities are valuable. Just one identity goes for about $1,000 on the dark web. And yes, there is a dark web marketplace where criminals go to buy and sell personally identifiable information. It's real. So let's go ahead and dive in. Marcus, are you ready to get started with tip number 1?
Let's go.
Okay. So our first actionable item is to review your privacy settings. And basically, you should only allow apps to have access to the data that they actually need to run. So we all need to take a few minutes to revisit and then to update our privacy settings on social media and even other online accounts. And so, I'm a real basic girl. I'm not technical. That's what Marcus is here for. But I like to think is privacy settings as a virtual lock that keeps the bad guys out of our personal space, right? It's our data, and we should control who sees it. Marcus, can you just help us understand maybe 1 or 2 reasons why we need to make sure our privacy settings are updated?
Yeah, absolutely. So by default, obviously, a lot of those social media accounts and things, and obviously we're on LinkedIn right now and Facebook. Those, have the settings by default, but they're not always the most secure settings. So it's just taking a look at what data they have access to, what data you want the outside world to be able to see, impersonation or, creating a fake account with your name or things like that. And then the other thing is dark web breaches, like you mentioned, happen all the time. You have data probably already leaked on the dark web. You can do a review of that. With some companies will, try to remove that information for you. And then, beyond what's already out there is just limiting how much else can get out about you. So it's just looking at it holistically and being like, okay, how much of this data do I really want out there about me that people can access?
Yeah, I did a dark web scan on myself, and just recently my information was in 4 different breaches. So I had to go back in and change my information. And
exactly. And that'll, if you do have a leaked password somewhere and you identify that, okay, I'm actually using this password still, then that will prompt you to go change those passwords.
Yeah. Which actually leads perfectly right into our next actionable step, which is to use strong passwords. Now, I feel like we beat a dead horse every week when we talk about this subject, but it's because we can all strengthen our digital defenses by using strong passwords. And I know it's overwhelming to think about using a different, unique, strong password on every single account, because there's no way that that anyone could remember one of those for every single account, because we have so many, dozens, if not hundreds of online accounts, right? This is why I love password managers, though. There's just no way we can remember all of those on our own. So I actually did a little research. I went out to Consumer Rankings, and they have their 2024 New Year list of the top password managers. And so if you're taking notes, you can write these down. Keeper, RoboForm, and 1Password are the top 3 password managers for 2024. But, depending on whether you want a free version or a paid version, whether you're a business or maybe whether you're an individual family, some others that you might consider are NordPass, Dashlane, and I'm probably going to say this wrong. Is it IOLO? IOLO? Is that how I don't know.
I've never heard of that one, so you're probably getting it right, though.
Yeah, it was out there on the list. So those are 6 right there that can definitely get you started and get you headed in the right direction. So, Marcus, just preach to us a little bit about using strong passwords and why they're so important.
Yes, and I advocate for the password manager all the time. Friends and family, they'll probably laugh at that. But obviously a password that you can remember is also going to be easier for someone to exploit or guess or brute force. So gone are the days of being able to use a simple password. I think at this point, the brute forcing, the dictionary tags, rainbow tables, all these type of they'll be able to exploit a basic password pretty easily. I think when you mix special characters and numbers and uppercase, lowercase, all those things are going to help to make the password more complex, but also harder for you to remember. So that's why we advocate so strongly for a password manager, so that they're securely stored and you don't have to worry about the complexity. It's going to figure that out for you. And then the other level would be 2FA on those accounts. So it's not one form of authentication; it's a multi form of authentication for those secure accounts.
Yeah, and those have gotten a lot more convenient. They used to be really confusing to me and kind of cumbersome, but I think they've come a long way as far as ease of use for the end user.
Yeah.
And I really feel like that's just it's a non-negotiable in today's cyber landscape. You have to have a strong password, use a password manager, and you have to have MFA if that's available. Oh my goodness, it's just non-negotiable.
Exactly right.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the third actionable step, and that is securing our devices. Oh, those pesky security patches. I get them every day on my computer. Get them all the time on my phone. But we have to make sure our devices have the latest security updates installed and antivirus software. So, obvious devices would be things like your smartphones, obviously your computers, your laptops, even smartwatches. But even things like my boys all have a gaming console and like home devices, Internet of Things devices, cameras, speakers, those things should all be considered too, because, Marcus, just help explain to us how a well-protected device is absolutely a key part of a person's data privacy strategy.
Yeah. What's interesting is that when these patches are released and the software is, a known vulnerability is patched, that also indicates to bad actors that older version of the software is vulnerable. So once a patch is released, it kind of almost green lights people exploiting that in some instances. So that's kind of why you have to be on top of patching all of your systems, not only obviously business systems, but also personal. What's running on your home network, as you mentioned? What's your IoT device set up? Do you have, Amazon Alexa or Apple or whatever running on your home network? So you just have to consider all those things, potential vulnerable areas of your home and your business networks.
We have all of those. We always joke, Alexa's listening to me, because then I'll go into my, my phone and all my ads are for whatever I was just talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, who's listening? And then the other thing, on your endpoints or your computers at home, or obviously on your business network, it's going to be managed by your IT department, but AV, endpoint detection and response. So AV is going to look at the signatures of those, potential malware and things like that, whereas EDR is going to look at behavior. So again, it's just another level of security on those endpoints.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's talk about tip number 4. This is another one we talk about a lot, and that is to be mindful of phishing attempts, phishing with a PH. I mean, we can't say it enough. Be careful with what you click on and where you share your personal information, especially in unsolicited emails or messages. Phishing often attacks your personal data. And I love a good acronym. So I found this one called SLAM, SLAM. When you're reading an email, when you're getting a message, you want to be careful and look at the sender, the links, the attachments, and the message. And so we can use that SLAM, SLAM, to help remember all the areas that verify the legitimacy of an email or a message. So, like Marcus, what would you have someone know about spotting and avoiding suspicious phishing messages? And specifically, what are some red flags that we can look for?
Yeah. Well, you mentioned looking at the sender. Again, is it unsolicited? Is it someone you communicate with? Are they saying that they are from Chase Bank and really it's a domain that's not related to Chase Bank? Something like that.
Okay.
So yeah, you're looking at those things. Some of this is outdated, the grammar mistakes, and I think with AI, things have gotten a lot more cleaned up, and they're able to seem more legitimate and look like an official email.
Yeah.
Another thing you can do is hover over whatever link is in the email, make sure it's going to the domain that it's related to.
Because when you hover over it, it pops up with the domain it's going to.
Correct. Yeah. So that'll help you identify. Oh, okay. Does this link look strange? Should I really click on this? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you always like to say it's being politely paranoid.
Yes.
With any type of scam, whether it's social engineering or it's a business email situation, you just want to be paranoid a little bit. And I think some of the things that could result from, obviously, these emails would be, okay, are they going to scam you? Identity theft is very common if they get access to your account. Business email compromise comes through phishing emails all the time. So just being vigilant.
This was so helpful for me the other day because I got an email that said it was from a legitimate place. Like, I can't remember if it was my bank or it was somewhere that I did business with, right? But when I looked at the sender, it was from somebody's Gmail. I was like, Bank of America is not going to send me an email with the sender of somebody's name at Gmail. So that was a huge red flag for me. I was like, no, we're going to report spam, block and report spam.
There you go.
So yeah, I am.
You're leveling up a little bit, Melanie.
Yes, I am. I love taking people along on this journey with me too. Because I feel like most people, I'm an end user for the most part. I'm marketing, sales. I'm not strong cybersecurity for forever. I've been in insurance most of my life. And so for me to come into this, it's so easy for me just to talk to somebody from the position that they may be in because I feel like that's how I'm coming into it as well. Which leads perfectly to our fifth tip here, which is cyber education and awareness. And that's what we're doing today. I mean, things are changing so fast in the cyber world. Criminals are more savvy and sophisticated than ever. And we see that firsthand every single day. Attacks are increasing at an alarming rate in both frequency and severity. And so we as individuals have to stay up to date about the latest in data privacy trends, cyber threats and scams, and just these best practices for staying safe. And then we've got to share that knowledge with our friends and family to create a safer online community and world for that matter. And that's what these Cyber Corner chats are all about. We say it all the time. When you empower and defend people, you defend business. And when you defend business, you defend the overall cyber resiliency of our country. So, Marcus, do you have any final closing thoughts on just the importance of cyber awareness and cyber education?
Yeah, and I think we talked about it last week too, but like you mentioned, it's the first line of defense. People are going to be, if you are a business owner or a manager of a business, educating your end users on, or your people on these type of threats is going to be crucial to preventing that first step that the attackers a lot of times take. So, and you're empowering them, you're building them up to feel more strong in their day-to-day activities, knowing that, okay, this is important. Me not clicking on this is important.
We know, we talk about it, 90% of all cyber attacks come through people.
Right.
So.
Exactly right. And we do things like gamify it and make it enjoyable for people that we're teaching. And it's becoming more and more of a regular thing in the business world. But I do think it's important for, just like you said, friends and family. Just talk to people about, because everyone's dealing with scams. Everyone's dealing with some level of people trying to circumvent their defenses. And so it's a topic for everyone these days.
It really is. Yep. Well, that's it for our Cyber Corner chat today. There were 5 actionable steps that you can take to protect the privacy of your data right now. And remember, our data is our digital identity. It's valuable, and we should guard it with care. And I hope you found value in what we've discussed today. If you have, please like, comment, and share. This helps more people see the content we create, which means more businesses and the people behind those businesses are safe. If you want to make sure your company is up to date and prepared to defend against cyber attacks, schedule your cyber strategy session now. I'll drop the link in the comments after this. But you can also go to strategy.itarchitects.com. It's completely free, and it only takes about 20 minutes just to get you pointed in the right direction and a plan of action for moving forward. So don't wait, because every minute you wait is just another minute you're at risk. On behalf of the entire IT Architects team, we are wishing you a safe, secure, and successful new year. Until next week, Marcus and I will catch you on the safe side. Thanks, guys.